Hi everyone, my name is Ania and I'm the Chief Scientific Officer at NYM. Today I'm going to walk you through one of our newly released features, the configuration of the Mixnet params. It's a feature which has been wildly requested by our community. There's been a vast interest in that feature. So let's deep dive into it so you can use it the best to your needs. So when you're going to open your NymVPN app, as you know, our NymVPN app operates in two modes, fast mode and the Mixnet mode. The configuration of the parameters applies, of course, only to the Mixnet mode because that's the mode when we have a lot of parameters which allow you to adjust the privacy and performance trade-offs which you would like to see. So when you're going to go into settings, you will find the Mixnet Tuning app where you can adjust these parameters. At the top, you have this little box which is going to tell you a little bit of information about what is the expected performance of the current settings which you are picking. We will be adjusting the packet rate and the mixing latency. And these two parameters have a very big impact on how your Mixnet behaves in terms of the privacy which it offers, but also the speed and performance which you're going to experience. Starting from the top, we have the send traffic continuously toggle. It's set on by default. It's very important because, as you know, in the NymVPN app, the Mixnet client is not sending the traffic in bursts depending on the user's activity, but rather is sending the traffic in a way that is ironed along the Poisson process. This means that whether you're actively using the app or not, or regardless of which type of activity you're doing while using the NymVPN app, the traffic exiting your client and exiting your application gonna look almost the same. This means that we're trying to turn your traffic patterns into something what looks the same for every other user. So the default setting for that parameter is 1 megabit per second. This means that your client is sending roughly one packet every 20 milliseconds. It's not exactly 20 milliseconds, it's an average, but that's what you should expect. And very importantly, because it's a continuous type of sending of covered traffic, if you're not actively using the app, a covered traffic is sent in lieu of your real packets. So if you're using the app to do web browsing or sending cryptocurrency transactions or instant messages, your real packets are being sent. But if you're putting down your phone or closing your laptop and not actively using the app, still the app gonna be sending covered packets just to simulate some type of behavior. This makes it much harder for the adversary to figure out what exactly you're doing and when. For those of you who are interested in higher speeds, you can move this setting to a high one. The high setting is 2 megabits per second. This means that your packet rate will be much higher. Your packets will be sent much faster. So if you're actively using the app, your real packets are being sent faster. But at the same time, if you're not using the app, you're sending much more covered traffic. This is very important to keep in mind because although changing this setting to a higher will improve your packet sending rate, hence the overall speed which you're going to experience when using the app. It may impact the bandwidth consumed and also the battery drainage on your mobile devices. So I personally would suggest that setting for those of you who are using desktop rather than mobile devices. If you're interested in lower settings, meaning you would like to send your packets at a lower rate, because, for example, exactly you want to save on bandwidth, or you would like to send on the battery of your device, you can set it to 0.7 megabits per second. This means that the traffic exiting your app will be much slower. This will impact the performance in general, which you're going to experience. There will be less covered traffic being sent, but still all these properties of continuous sending of traffic will be preserved. For those of you who really would like to optimize for higher sending and don't really care so much or need so much the continuous traffic sending, which offers you unobservability, you can toggle it off. This means now that the traffic which you want to send will be sent in bursts of your activities. So whenever you're actively using the app, the packets will be sent as soon as they're available. So there will be no artificial delay before sending your packets. Now, at the same time, we would like to still offer you a little bit of privacy properties. So you can still adjust the amount of covered traffic which you're going to be sending. This covered traffic will be sent in parallel to your real traffic, or it will be sent even if you're not actively using the app. The base is very low, it's just one cover packet every around 200 milliseconds on average, but you can increase this by a factor of 5, 10, or 20. So if you wish to obfuscate much more your communication, you can increase the volume of cover traffic, but please keep in mind that this does not give you such strong privacy properties as when you're sending the traffic continuously. And you can monitor here in this tab what is the setting of the packet rate which you selected. The other parameter which you can adjust is the mixing delay. As you guys know, in the Mixnet, when the packets traverse the network, they're kept at each mix node for a little bit of time in order to be shuffled with other packets flowing through that mix node as well. This allows us to create an anonymity set, meaning that it will be much harder for an adversary to track where your packets are going because they're going to get mixed with other packets as they're going through different hubs. The default setting for this is 15 milliseconds. This means that at each mix node, your packet gonna spend on average 15 milliseconds before being forwarded to the next hop. Remember that you have to multiply it by 6 because we have 3 mix nodes for the forward packets and 3 mix nodes for the replies coming back from the service provider or network requester. For those of you who would like to see much better anonymity properties, you can adjust this parameter much higher. You can pick any value between 0 to 200 milliseconds, which is really nice because it makes it much harder for the adversary to guess which value you selected. If you're gonna pick 200 milliseconds, it means that on average, your packet gonna spend 200 milliseconds at each node. Again, you have to multiply it by a factor of 6 because you're gonna be going through 6 nodes. If you would like to optimize your performance of your Mixnet much higher, you can lower it all the way even up to 0. Just remember that without this mixing delay, your packets are now going through the mix nodes as through any other normal server. So the anonymity set is 0 because they're not going to be spending time there to get mixed properly with other packets. Depending on your use case, I would recommend setting this type of parameter, for example, web browsing. But for those of you who are doing cryptocurrency transaction or instant messaging, a much higher delay might be best suitable because you're gonna get a high anonymity, better privacy at the cost of a little bit more latency overhead. Yet at the same time, for use cases like sending cryptocurrency transactions and messaging, you're not gonna feel that so much. Once you selected your parameters, you just have to save the custom settings, and then you can go back to the main screen and connect your Mixnet. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, as always, please reach out via Telegram or our customer support. We're waiting for your feedback, and hopefully you're going to enjoy this feature.